So the most recent update we have gotten on Trey Hendrickson is that he is standing his ground. He's refusing to budge in any way for his contract negotiation. And he's sticking his ground that he wants as we know, either a 2 or 3 year guaranteed contract. The Bengals still want to only give one. So at this moment in time, we are very close to the season. And Trey is not interested in budging in the slightest. So now we're in a predicament. And Jadeveon Clowney has now started talking with teams. Will he talk to the Bengals? Well, the closer we get to the season, potentially. Now, he plans to sign right before the season. So after all the preseason stuff is done with, 53-man roster cuts happen, that's when he wants to sign with the team. If we can't sign Trey Hendrickson, we've seen the preseason. Now, again, preseason doesn't tell everything. Preseason, obviously, very, vanilla schemes. But we haven't been able to get crazy pass rush in the preseason. So, I mean, if we're going into this season with Myles Murphy on one side and Shamar Stewart on the other side, which I actually really am high on Shamar Stewart, as you know, but Myles Murphy, not as much, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. So, should we pick up Clowney? If we don't sign Trey, and Trey's not on this team, which he claims he won't play unless he gets this deal done with, yeah, sure. I mean, at this point, why not? You need any type of pass rush you can get. And we're not really in a situation, especially defensively, where a beggar can be a chooser. If there's a potential here where we can get someone who can actually get to the quarterback, let's go after him and let's pick him up. Again, it all, depends on how Trey's situation gets figured out. But even then, I mean, you can never have too many pass rushers. So, even if we sign Trey, maybe just a rotational piece, right? We'll already thin at linebacker, so it kind of helps us out a little bit to have Clowney as, another edge guy. Maybe we can move someone else from edge to linebacker. Barrett Carter, which actually, Barrett Carter's not edge, but we can utilize him less as on pass rushing situations and more in coverage situations. So again, there's things we can do. When you have more players and you have better players, you can do a little bit more and you can actually get away with a little bit more. So last year, Clowney put up a 73.2 pass blocking grade or pass rushing grade, a 63.4 runs defensive grade. He is 32 years old, so obviously age is, something to take a look at, but we would sign him to a 1-year, no-nothing contract anyway. It's not like we're signing him to a massive contract. And also, it's kind of like a 1-year rental. Just see how it works out. Pass rushers age like fine wine. The older they get, the better they get. So I really have no issue with this at all. Again, it depends on the price tag, obviously. It depends on how much he wants. But at the end of the day, listen, anything that can make this defense even remotely better, I'd say even 1% better, we got to take it. Overall wise, you go back and you look at the fact that, our defense, even if our defense is ranked 25th this year, we can win the Super Bowl. Our offense is that good. If we can figure out the right guard position, right, that's number one. Free safety position, strong safety in general position, potentially go add a veteran corner, and you get someone like, Clowney here, at least that would probably push us up to 20, at least a 25th ranked defense. I think personally speaking, we're going to be top. I believe we're going to, this is my prediction, Bengals will finish with the number 11 defense in the league. That's my prediction going into the season, number 11. I know some people are going to say, oh no, after the preseason, we're 32. I don't think we're going to be 32. I think we're going to be number 11, which right outside the top 10, but I think we're going to be a good defense, but I think we're going to struggle in a lot of key areas. And, it's not going to be the easiest season. But a number 11 defense, a number 18, a number 20, you at least give that to Joe Burrow and he can cook, right? And we've seen in the past, you give Joe Burrow any type of decent defense, he's going to take you very, very far. So even though, yes, it's obviously not top 5, which we want, at this point, just give Joe anything good and he can cook with that and we can go very, very far. So again, like I said, it's a factor of, we got to, obviously, defense got to win. We got kicking has to win as well. That's what I feel like we're not talking about as much. And obviously, we're expecting, Evan McPherson, Money Mac to be Money Mac again. But that's another thing in the back of my head that always scares me. Kicking was really bad last year. Even when, Money Mac got hurt, and then we went to Cade York. Kicking was such a big problem. And we figured out the punting situation, going from Brad Robbins to obviously Ryan. But, in general, this kicking situation, it still kind of gets to me as well. Because, again, yes, we have a great, quarterback. Yes, we have a great offense. But with that right guard position battle, it's scaring the crap out of me. And now you got to think, if that right guard position battle becomes an issue and has setbacks and has problems, we might have to kick some long field goals. And we can't afford, like last year, we would have been a playoff team if it wasn't for that crap. It wasn't for the kicking being so bad. So, I don't know. See, these are things that keep me up at night. This is why I stay up till 6 a.m. in the morning and I'm always awake. And I'm always like, I wonder, how would that kicking do this year? Will Evan McPherson be the guy that we know and love? Hopefully. See you guys next one, though.